Chris is up, excuse me, but he posted a support question from Herman. Herman says, please clarify what I get with the single tier syndication network and how will it help YouTube video rankings? All right, with single tier syndication network, that typically those, I wouldn't recommend a single tier network for YouTube syndication. I would recommend a full 2-tier network because with YouTube syndication, guys, there are no footprint issues if you're using the networks the way that we set them up, or if you're building them yourself, if you're using the applets the way that we recommend them. Okay, there's no footprint issues with that. All you're doing is you're acting as a publisher for Google when you republish YouTube videos in other locations. So you can get as crazy as you want and stack as many networks as you want on a YouTube channel. And the only thing it's going to do is add power, right? It's not going to harm your video. I've never had a single video hit from syndicating a video through syndication networks. I've never had a penalty or sandbox or anything. Okay. Now I have when I've had videos with syndicated with the full description from the YouTube video, because you know how we like to spam YouTube descriptions, guys? Come on, we all do it, right? Well, if you syndicate the video with the full YouTube description, that can cause problems. And I've had Web2 accounts shut down for that. I've had money sites terminated for that. I've had all kinds of shit happen from that. So, but with YouTube, like I said, because you don't have any footprint issues, if you're using the networks the way we set them up, or the applets the way we have developed them, right? Then you can stack as many networks as you want. One single brand or single tier network is typically what I recommend for blog syndication, and that's because we create a branded network. Everything is themed and branded for the company, the business, right? And so, and that makes sense because if you're syndicating content from your blog out to your branded profiles, you're telling the world, you're claiming your footprint. Right? It's like you're putting a great big red flag right down in the middle, your money site being the middle, and saying, hey, this is me and this is me everywhere. And this is us everywhere. This is our content in as many places as we can. On your branded profiles, why wouldn't you republish your content on your branded profiles? But for YouTube, yeah, if you have a YouTube channel, I would make the first syndication ring or network branded for your YouTube channel, right? Your YouTube channel can be a brand, so make it a branded network. But then you can start adding second tier networks, which are persona-based networks. They're non-branded networks. You can add additional first tier networks that are triggered directly from YouTube, right? That are persona-based networks. It's perfectly fine to do that. You can even go out and add third tiers and fourth tiers. I don't recommend that because there's a lot of chaining that goes together that could break down, and then you lose the power of anything downstream, if that makes sense. That's why I always stuck with just 2-tier networks, because they were easier to maintain. But again, Larry, what's powerful about it is, oh, I'm sorry, not Larry, Herman. What's powerful about these are that whenever you're publishing the YouTube video and syndicating them out, that it acts as embeds. And those are kind of like, it's almost like a backlink, right? For a YouTube video. It's not quite the same. It's different than a backlink, but it's similar. It's like a vote, right? It's saying, hey, so there's things that you can do to improve the power of your syndication networks, like build links to them, have themed, relevant content on them. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do with those too. But again, there's no better way. Well, the best thing for YouTube videos for ranking right now is engagement, period. There's no doubt about that. Traffic and engagement to videos can absolutely rank a video. But something that but syndicating videos and embedding them still helps a lot. Right. And that's something that syndication networks 100% automates. And he says, the last part of that is I have several Web 2.0 sites and social media properties that I also post to manually. Well, a lot of those sites, again, if they're Web 2s that can be triggered by IFTTT, then you could set syndication network applets up to also syndicate directly to those so you don't have to do it manually anymore, Herman. I would recommend that. Plus, there are some other like services and plugins, WordPress plugins and things like that that will also syndicate to some of the things that IFTTT doesn't connect to. So you may want to look into some of those apps too, if needed. If you already have a bunch that are built out, I mean. Okay, it's a good question. Ken's
I'm glad. Yeah, before you go on, I'm just glad that you mentioned branding, because what I use them for now, I'm like you. I stopped using WordPress. And now what I do with the networks, I use them to validate and solidify the entity. I'm all after the entity, and that's what it helps. I don't really care if I push my my content anywhere. because Google is going to take it in anyway, right? From the way we do local GMB Pro. So Google's going to see it. Google's going to see it and act on it. But I do want but my entity everywhere, so that it helps to validate and solidify the fact that this is a real entity on the web, and that there's something solid behind this entity.
Yep. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, even if you're not syndicating content to it, just having a syndication network can help to validate an entity, which is it's a great signal for Google.